All right. Hey, thanks for tuning in right now. This is our second edition of Co-Parenting Doing the Right Way with Christopher Galloway and Chanel.
I'm Chanel Pace. I can introduce myself.
Okay, well, excuse me. So anyway, we left off talking about different topics. Today's topic is, I'm going to let Chanel start it off. This is a tough one tonight because there's some stuff you guys are going to find out again about me that you don't know. And it's going to be head scratching, but again, I'm not even going to charge it to my youth. I did what I did. I'm ashamed of it, but we're here now and we're better because of it.
Right. So I think for tonight's episode, I think we're going to call this one The Blow. Yeah, the blow. Yeah. So we're going to start tonight's episode off talking about the forgiveness. So last episode we talked about, well, before we do that, I do want to put the disclaimer out there and let you guys know that Chris and I are not professionals. We do not try to present ourselves as such. However, I feel like we have figured out the formula on co-parenting. And oftentimes we get so many questions and so much accolades and praise about how we work together and how weird, some people say it's weird, but we have an overwhelming amount of support and just overall just happiness for us, just because some of them know the path that we have been on. But we are not professionals. We just have figured out the blueprint on co-parenting, and what we want to do is help build our community up by providing them the information and probably just helping them along the way. So again, we are not professionals at all. We do not try to present ourselves as such, but hopefully we can shed light on a situation. So with that being said, we want to ask you guys if you have any questions about co-parenting. If you're in a situation, chime in. Feel free to ask questions. We're here to help because we figured it out. Hey, and so now we're working together. If you don't know and just now tuning in, Chris and I were married for a short period of time before I realized.
3 years is not short.
Before I realized hell and to the gnaw. Okay,
3 years is not short.
So it didn't take me long to realize, no, this is not my life's destiny. Okay. So anyway, I do want to just let you guys know, feel free to chime in. We would love to get to a point to where we can invite people to our podcast and help mediate and advocate for, I hear feedback, static. In my speaker, in my thing. Sorry about that. But yes, I do want to let you know that we do at some point would like to have people come on to the show and ask questions, and if we can do conflict resolution. You know, this show is all about transparency. This show is all about transparency. I hear it too. And we want to, like I said, build and help our community because hey, it's hard out here. You're having a kid by somebody that you no longer like and somebody that you despise, and you have to be bound with for the next 18 years. That's tough. So, hey, come along for the ride, join in, ask questions, do whatever you feel the need to be. So this week's episode is going to be titled, what did I say? The blow? The blow. The blow. All right, so let's get into it. We divorced now. No, we're not divorced. No, we're not divorced. I found out he was cheating. That's where it was. So I found out he's cheating. I done threw all his stuff over the balcony. Everybody in the complex and seen. I'm in my business, so we're looking crazy. But at least I've got rid of that baggage, right? Okay, so I thought, all right, ladies. So you know how I go. You catch your man cheating, and he's saying and doing whatever he wants, whatever he feels like he can say to manipulate you, to get him back in and get him back in position, right? So we're working on forgiveness, right? All right. So the part, I need to move more in the middle. The problem is during the forgiveness process, at this point, the trust is broken, right? So the trust is broken, but at this point, I have a kid and I want the relationship to work naturally, right? Okay, so I'm willing to listen to all his little manipulative lies and things like that. Okay, so let me get into the story. This is the day that I found out he had another baby on the way. Oh my gosh. All right, so I'm getting ready to go to work, right? The hour's late, and he needs to pick up the baby for the next day because at this time he had his own place, right? He's moved out, but we're still trying to reconcile and kind of work together or whatever. So I'm calling his phone and I'm like, hey, you supposed to pick up, our son, little Chris, right? Like, where you at, right? So initially he was answering the phone, but when they up to no good, they stop answering the phone and everything just becomes crazy, right? So I don't know, but I think I developed stalker tendencies early. For real, I think I became a detective early on. So somehow had I already had the girl's number. I remember caller ID or something. I don't know, but I had a dear friend who helped me figure out where she lived, right? So he wasn't answering the phone. I'm blowing his phone up. I got to be at work. I want to give him the baby tonight so I don't have to wake the baby up at 5:00 in the morning. Do all those things that makes it hard for us as a woman as is. So I'm calling them, nothing. So I'm like, all right. Let me go ahead because I'm getting ready to pull up. Now, he don't know I got the number. He don't know I got the phone number. He don't know I got the address. He don't know anything. So I'm riding down the street, right, by myself, solo. I didn't need anybody with me, but I did have the baby in the back seat. So it's crazy the way this went down. So I had the baby in the back seat because I'm getting ready to drop the baby off. But my that intuition, yes, it's real. It is so real, and it does exist. So, ladies, shout out to intuition because I tell you, intuition will save you from some situations, baby. All right, so I'm driving down the street. I circled through the apartment complex that the girl he was cheating with, right? So I circled through the complex and my stomach just was dropping. You know that feeling you get, ladies? That feeling, every woman knows that feeling, right? So it was that feeling. So I'm driving through the parking lot and on my way out, I circled through the whole parking lot. Nothing. I said, okay, all right, cool. I feel good. Right? Something said, no, Chanel, don't go in. Don't go out the way that you went in. Go out a different way. Yeah, I went out a different way. And what do I see? The Camaro. Everybody remember the Camaro Chris used to drive? I saw the Camaro. In the Camaro, she's sitting all cute, all pretty in the Camaro. I'm like, oh, hell no. So he see me. I see him seeing me. And I'm like, you didn't up, right? You didn't stop. So I'm reversing through the parking lot. I'm swerving, trying to get out through there. Now the baby in the back seat, thank God he was asleep. But anyway, I'm reversing. So now his car is here, my car is here. And I'm like, this what we doing? And Chrissy said, I remember right, because I called you. So I'm like, oh my goodness, this what we doing? So I'm hot. I'm upset. All I see is red. All I see is fire. In my face, this is what you doing to me. Now, all this time, I'm not doing anything wrong. Nothing. So the fire, that Aries in me kind of seeped through. And yes, it got ugly. So I immediately get out of the car. And he hops out, but I don't think he can put the car. He was struggling trying to put the car in park, which I use that to my advantage. So I'm like, okay, he's stuck. So I'll go around the car really, really quick. And I open up the door. I remember this yesterday because it was, thinking back on it, it was some hurtful ass shit. Excuse me. Can you?
No.
Oh, I'm sorry. Can you edit that? Am I allowed to say a cuss word?
Yeah, you can cuss.
Okay. All right. So it was hurtful. Even though I had already admitted prior to that, I really, at this time, feelings were involved. So I can't say that, when we got married, I wasn't in love. But by this time, you with somebody, you're building, you're thinking that this person's being honest or whatever. So anyway, I go around, open up the car door, and I see her. This is oh my God, in my face. So the only thing I'm just trying to fight. So I'm just swinging and we doing all that or whatever, right? So she gets out of the car and he's coming around the car. So now I feel like I'm being double teamed. So can you imagine? I'm the whole wife. Hello, I'm the wife, right? So she jumps out of the car and just for the sake, years ago. So I'm not trying to open up any wounds for her, because now in hindsight, I'm realizing she was just a victim as well, which is what I realized early on in the process, because I realized this dude been lying to her too. Now, there's a backhand story to that, because I did make her aware. However, anyway, long story short, and I'm not trying to open up, if the person ends up watching this, I'm not trying to open up any can of worms or rehash or anything. This is just, again, going into the co-parenting and how we got to this point, and the depths of how bad and nasty it got. So anyway, open up the door. I'm fighting. She's swinging, trying to get out. But before she gets out, when she stood up, she said, "B, I'm pregnant."
This dude is so dramatic.
No, that's what I
What's
felt.
up with the dramatics, man?
I felt it, ladies.
God,
I felt it in my
dog.
soul. Can you imagine being
You should
married
be-
to somebody? You already know he done cheated once, but you know, like, surely he won't do this. Surely he won't do that. He did it.
She deserves an Oscar.
Whatever. So when she told me that, she was like, "B, I'm pregnant." So immediately, I'm not really trying to go to jail for murder. Let me leave her alone. So I stopped. She stops. I turn around. And at this time, Chris he was getting into his bulkiness. So he was still a big guy, and I was little. I've always been very petite. So anyway, I started fighting him. So I'm fighting him. And I don't know what, he didn't hit me back. He's never physically hit me. Now, he done some stuff, but he's never physically hit me. Anyway, long story short, so I'm fighting him, and I don't know, I think I just like snapped into reality, like, what is going on? So I go ahead, I try to get in the car, right? But again, the Aries kicked in, so the only thing I see, she said, I felt that in my soul too, girl, not pregnant. So right. So I get in my car, because I'm like, okay, I got to get out of here. Like, I got to go. It's just too much. But I'm seeing red. And in that time, y'all, you know what? This is what sidebar. What I want to say is, when you're in these situations and emotions is completely taking over you, you really don't know how far you'll go when you lose control. And I will honestly say, mentally, being in this situation is new. Everything's like crazy. I literally was out of my body. The only thing I can do is run his ass over, right? So the voices in my head said, run his ass over. So what I do, I put the car in reverse, backed that up a little bit. I had a Cavalier, backed that little raggedy green car up and hit the gas. But I had enough sense to know, if you do this, you're going to jail for a long time. So I kind of eased up off the gas pedal a little bit, but applied just enough pressure so he know, don't play with me, right? So at this point, I don't want to go to jail. I hear people saying stuff in the background, so I get out of there, right? So I'm going up parallel, and I'm crying. I just remember feeling so hurt. Like, you know, why would you do me like that, like a whole baby? So anyway, I went over to my mom's. I'm crying. I'm bawling. I'm like so hurt. Like, I don't think I've ever felt that kind of pain ever in my life at that age. Like, that was a really an awakening moment. And found out he had a baby on the way. Here I am. I'm trying to raise our kid, and that's pretty much the reaction. What was you thinking in the moment?
So now, what I was thinking, man, I knew I had messed up, first and foremost. I knew I had jacked up. So when I saw your car originally, I'm like, man, please don't tell me don't tell me it's Chanel behind me. And I'm like, and my car had a motor in it, so I could have just shot out of there and left. But I'm like, oh hell, whatever. So of course she gets behind my car. No, she's in front of my car. Our car's facing her. Some kind of way she blocked me where I had to face her. So she was lying. I was trying to put my car in park, which was weird, and I couldn't get it in park. So maybe it was just it had to happen the way it happened, because she ended up going to the passenger side, hitting the young lady in the face. And of course, the young lady gets out. She says, "B, I'm pregnant." I'm like, oh no. And so at this time, she's trying to fight me, and I'm holding her. And she gets in the car, and she puts the car in drive. And yes, she applied some pressure. Now, mind you, I was playing arena football, so I'm like, I felt like if she'd have kept pushing, she would have broke my leg. And
I was trying to.
It's so crazy because when she drove off, the cops come and the police officer is like telling me, like, yo, we just saw her speeding. You want us to I got a cop behind her right now. He'll pull her over.
I'm dumb. I'm getting away on a main street. So you already know I'm like so naive. I'm fleeing the scene on the main street.
So he like, we'll pull over right now. We'll take her to jail if you wanted to. I said, no, she's upset because I got another baby on the way. She's my wife. She just found out. I'm not blaming her because, again, it was my fault that she was upset. I put her in a position, so why would I try to put her in a worse position by saying, oh, yeah, stop her. She hit me with a car. No. It's my fault. I did this. I need to own up to it. And this is how I'm gonna pay atonement to her by just say, no, don't arrest her. Let her get home.
And Crystal, no, I was not aware that she was pregnant at that moment. When she said, "B, I'm pregnant," I immediately stopped, and then that's when I started fighting him.
So, anyways, I felt, and it's like this: when you're doing things in a moment, you don't feel anything. Let me just be honest with you. You don't feel anything. You do not. When you're doing wrong, you don't feel nothing.
Yes, he knew.
Mm. Yeah. I knew the girl was pregnant. I didn't know what I was going to do, but I knew she was pregnant. And so, but again, like I said, when you're doing wrong, you don't know how to handle it. You're just doing wrong. And it's just so, it hurt. Now I talk about it, it bothers me because I am not that guy. I was that guy. I was terrible. So to do that, and not know what to do next when you're out here playing these games you were playing. Because I felt that me and Chanel were going to be over. But then all of a sudden I started feeling like, no, I want to make this work. But by the time I felt like I wanted to make this work, I'd already did the do and the woman was pregnant. So it's like you get an epiphany after the fact, basically, which is the worst thing you can do because you pretty much then put yourself in a pickle and how you going to get out of it. And so I tried to hide it. I'm going to throw a caveat out that you didn't know nothing about. So BY called me and he's like, bro, my wife just saw you coming out the hospital with that pregnant woman. And, you know, I had to talk her down because she's ready to tell Chanel.
So B knew the whole time?
But yeah, B knew. Sorry, B. Sorry. But yeah, so B knew about it. But B didn't know until after she went home and told B that she saw it. That's when he called and was like, bro, what? And I told him, yeah. And he was like, man. And so he didn't know, no. He knew after the fact. But
so you was going to doctor's appointments? You was out here.
Yeah, I went to doctor. But again, so
the nerves.
Let me finish. So
go ahead.
The day she found out, and
so you just didn't care about getting caught at. Hold on, y'all. Let me go back 19 years. So you just didn't care about getting caught about nothing. You all at doctor's appointments and shit. Really?
You know what? Let's get back. Let's stay focused, please.
All right.
So, anyways, yes, I went to doctor's appointments. I did that. However, again, once you realize what you've done, when everything is out in the open and the world knows. In a second, Crystal. I was hurt because I knew I really truly hurt her. And I didn't realize how hurt she was until the night she came over. And she laid in my bed and she just laid there and cried. And I just sat there and I looked at her. And I swear I felt like I was super duper small because that is the worst thing you can. And I guess hindsight being 2020, the love was love, but I wasn't loving her the way I should have loved her, because if I truly loved her the way I thought I did, I would have never hurt her. I believe when you really love somebody, you don't hurt them. You can't hurt them. You know, you just cannot hurt them. And I continued to hurt her. And to just have her sitting in my bed crying that night, I felt so low. I felt so small. I just felt like trash because I've really, truly hurt this woman. Like, this is the ultimate pain I could give her. Forget cheating on her. Forget the spit, the gun, all that stuff. That's peanuts compared to her finding out that I'd have made another baby.
Yeah, because essentially that's something that alters the structure of our family.
Exactly.
And our lives.
Exactly.
You know? So,
because it did. It definitely changed everything. And so I'm going to get into a little bit more of after the fact that the baby's now here. And crazy as it sounds, we tried to coexist. We still tried to make it work. she still was trying to stay with me. I was still trying to stay with her.
I think the reason why, because if I had enough sense, I would have been like, you know what, one time is enough. Well, actually, you already got caught cheating. Now you didn't put the icing on the cake, and now you got a baby. So that should have been enough for me to leave. But I think as a woman, sometimes when you're in that state, your phone's great, but I think when you're in that state that you're like, well, not a competition, but more so like, I'm not finna allow you to get him. Now, if we end and we break up for good or whatever, you're not gonna be able to. The dog that he is, you ain't gonna be laying down with this dog. You know what I'm saying? Not until I'm ready to let him go. Then you can have him. I really felt like I had, I don't know if something to prove or I don't know. It was just a weird place. Cause like I said, being in your right mind, you would naturally want to leave, right? Your husband just made a baby and come to find out he's all at doctor's appointments and shit. So naturally you would want to go. But for some reason, I felt like I had to let her know, like, that, and it was so dumb now thinking about it, but that's the way that I was thinking in that moment.
So again, with all that being said, here the baby's here now. Now comes the part of you got to play your part as a father. And I'm trying to do right by my family, which I wasn't doing right by them in the beginning, but now all of a sudden I want to do right. So now I'm trying to make things right with her and please her, but also take care of this baby. So I found myself like having to tell the stupidest lies. Like she found some clothes in the closet one time and it was a bunch of clothes I bought him. And she was literally like, who clothes are these? And I'm like, oh, them Chris's old clothes, whatever stupid. The lie was stupid. And she was like, these clothes are brand new. Like, what are you doing? And I'm like, all right, them Christian clothes. Oh, you hiding clothes? You hiding clothes? You got to hide clothes from me, huh? Now you got to hide clothes to take to this little boy? And I'm like, dude, like.
I think this is what it is. I wanted to establish my rank. Does that make sense? So I wanted to establish my rank. Like, okay, here we are faced with this problem because even though the baby was a blessing for her, it was a problem for me. And not necessarily the baby. So I want to be clear because any life is a precious life. But it's in that moment you're trying to separate your feelings from reality. And although the baby was a blessing, this situation was not cool because, again, I remember having a conversation with her. I think I remember having a conversation with her. I knew he had been cheating with her. That's how I initially found the number, but I didn't know anything about being pregnant and all that. So I had initially told her, hey, he's married, right? Like, so I feel like I did my due diligence by letting her know, listen, regardless of what he's telling you, Chris and I are still married. So going back, pause your thought though, because I remember after the situation, the next day I had to go to work and her and her goons, I was going over to his house for something because I wasn't done. I didn't feel like I hit him hard enough or something. So I went back over to his place. I went back to his place and her and her friend like blocked me in and the friend got out. But at this time I'm young, but I'm not dumb. It's two of y'all, I'll catch you another day. And I remember his mom, shout out to Miss Brenda, the G that she is. I tell you, if anybody know Brenda Lee, she's a rider. She gave me this stick. And to be honest, I still have this stick to this day. It's a stick and she had layers of tape wrapped around, right? She was like, if they come back, this what you give them. This what you give them, daughter. This what you give them. So I was like, all right. So I had my little stick. I was ready for whatever. You know what I'm saying? Y'all mess with my husband. Dumb. But anyway, I think in hindsight, I was really trying to establish my ranking. So when I seen that he was purchasing items and doing things without me, I felt a way like, hold on, dude. We'd already figured out that this baby here. Now you making moves without talking to me and consulting me. It's not that I didn't want him to do for his kid because the kid here, you know what I'm saying? But you're not finna just be you're not finna be just disrespecting me along the way. No, we not finna have none of that. So anyway, go ahead. So I'm finding clothes and shit, and I'm like, hold on. You doing too much. Go ahead.
So anyways, she found clothes. She found shoes. So I ended up getting a tattoo for my boys. And it says Daddy's Motivation, and it says my boys' names. She saw the tattoo, and why did I do that? Because, like, that just really pissed her off even more. Because now she like, You laying in this bed with a tattoo bleeding in your bed and you're on your arm, and I gotta look at this every guy. You know, she going on.
I mean, because what person in their right mind? Look, I done had a whole baby by you, and I'm finna make sure you got a whole baby on you. But I'm finna make sure you got a constant reminder of my indiscretion in your face. Like, what? And let me heal, dude. Can I heal? I mean, you keep giving me blow after blow. Can I heal? Can I process some shit? You know, I was hurt. But go ahead.
So, anyway, this woman, she deserves an Oscar, y'all. She is really putting on the show for y'all tonight. I didn't know we was gonna have a podcast tonight, and she was gonna put on her suit because she clowning. But okay, that's cool. This is what it's about. It's about being transparent. So I'm good with that. Because trust and believe, nobody can judge me but God. And the person I am today,
yes, Crystal, a whole tattoo.
I am not that guy. So that's just I'm gonna leave that there. But yeah. So I got a tattoo. That really pissed her off. And like we were trying our best to make it work, but it just kept seeming like, you know, every time I did something, it just made it worse and worse. I mean, like, just terrible. Terrible, capital T. And so me and the mom are now starting to have friction because she's like, you allowing your wife to dictate what you do. And I'm like, well, I don't want to lose my wife. Funny as that seems, now all of a sudden you don't want to lose your wife, but you out here cheating and doing all this weird stuff. That's just something about a man. That's the weirdest thing I could ever think of when it comes to a man. And that's what pisses me off as a man now, because we do that. We'll mess up and then all of a sudden, oh no, I don't want to lose my wife. Well, nigga, did you think about that before you made the baby?
I ain't had two
did you think about that
it.
before you did what you did? Because you didn't. Now all of a sudden, now that the rubber meets the road, it's like, oh no, I don't want to lose you. Please don't go. But what was you doing to keep me? So but I'm just saying that because that's how I think now. But at the time, I'm just thinking of Chris. I wasn't thinking about nobody but myself. So after that happened, and we're having friction, me and the mom, we're going back and forth, and it's just getting ugly. And, you know, so I was like, you know what? Chanel was like, you know, put yourself on child support then. If that's what it's going to take, put yourself on child support. And so I ended up putting myself on child support. And it just...
I know why. And also you wasn't able to see the kid. Like the kid couldn't be around me. And you know all that stuff that the other woman do. And it's like, well, hold on. At what point was you, I mean, you know what I'm saying? But whatever, like, yeah. So I was like, you know what? Let's do it the right way. If I'm going to be the idiot and stick by your side, if I'm going to be the... if I'm going to be here, at least can we have some structure with this shit, okay? Like, you know, let's go ahead and get child support and let's go ahead and do things in order. Look, can we do things in order, you know? So I wanted to, again, because I don't want to go to jail, you know what I'm saying? That ain't a place for me, okay? So let's get things in order. And I remember the baby was crying one night and I'm on the phone with her like, hey, try burping him and do all this and just... sounding like a complete sucker, but that was a time. That was a time.
So then we end up getting to the child support thing. Baby's on child support now, and but it didn't really help us because it still kept a small rift in the relationship between me and my son because I was more worried about my home versus how I could try to maneuver to be a better father to my son. And it just continued to be an issue. And it took a long time to get past that. And we're talking, we can speed up a little bit because we're going to come back to this, but I'm going to share something with y'all of how you overcome adversity. To this day, my son has a great relationship with Chanel. Like, without me, he can call Chanel himself. If he needs his hair braided, she'll braid his hair. If he needs something from her, she handles it for him. And mind you, now Chanel has a whole family now. Chanel has a baby, a future husband. She got her whole family set up. So, but she still is involving my son in her life and let my son come over. She braids his hair. She looks out for him. So I think that's dope. That even though throughout all this crap that we've been through, everything was still able to come full circle. And like, she's able to be in my son's life, and she's a important part to him because he'll tell her stuff that he probably wouldn't even tell me, and she has to tell me what he's doing or what's going on because he's afraid to tell me. So I love that part of our relationship and how it got to this point. Even though it started off terrible and nasty and ugly, as dirty as it possibly can be, it turned itself around to be something beautiful. And so, now it's like my son has inherited a mom, and
Well, I wouldn't go that far. I would say that as far as inheriting a mom, I wouldn't say as far as inheriting a mom, just inheriting a woman, because at the end of the day, I realize that this baby is innocent, and as ugly as this situation is, he don't even know he in the world. So what am I going to put that energy off towards him? That would just be the wrong thing to do, and I didn't take a rocket science to figure that out. So again, fast forwarding to where we are now, he's a good kid. He's respectful. He has his head on his shoulder. Great grades. Just overall a really good kid. And his mom has did a wonderful job raising him because he lives with her. So she's done an amazing job. Hats off. I would never knock another woman for having to step up and perform a role, because again, initially she didn't know. So hats off to a good kid. And let's just fast forward to where we are now. It's not his fault. So I'm not dumb. I'm not an evil soul.
No, it was definitely my fault. Like I said, y'all gonna be hearing a lot of different things every week that we do this, about how, because this is just the beginning of, you're talking 40 or 20 something, 20, 21, 22 years of dealing with each other, of knowing each other, of being in each other's lives. And
too long.
For real. And throughout all this, you have so many stories that we're going to share. But today was mainly because we look at relationships. We see people that deal with what we dealt with every day now. We see that. We see the extra child being made because of an indiscretions of the man. And it's normally the man. And maybe, I think I seen it one time when it was the woman. But normally it is the man who makes a decision to get out here and mess around and then make a child, and then he has to live with it. But to just know that you have to grow as a man. You have to look at yourself in the mirror. And I had to become self-aware of like, dang, man, I really did this. I'm really destroying this woman, because I knew that I was destroying her by the things I was doing. So to continue to just destroy her for no reason, because she didn't deserve none of it. Good woman.
I told y'all last episode I was an angel. I wasn't out here on none of this stuff. This was foolishness.
Not in the beginning. She was not on nothing. But let's be real, because y'all gonna hear some stuff later on down the line. These podcasts is about old Miss Chanel. Chanel, I heard a little bit of it. I didn't share it all.
You never had no facts.
Do you
but
really
anyway,
do that?
Let's
we do have facts about when she moved to Missouri.
Let's go.
When she moved to Missouri, we got facts about that. So we're gonna get on that. We're gonna stay on topic though. So with the whole just outside, the temptations of cheating, the temptation of your woman not being enough, whatever that may be, I don't know. But that's how I felt. I felt that I just wanted to do whatever I wanted to do. I was going to have what I wanted to have, and it did not matter, because I was trying to, self-gratification was all it was about for me. It was about me, making me feel good. What makes me feel great? What was it about? It wasn't about how she felt. It wasn't about how my son felt. It was about me. I had to sit up and look at Chris and say, you know what? You're wrong. Not only are you wrong, but you foul. Not only are you foul, but you dirty. Not only you dirty, but you trifling. I can go on and on, because I had to look at myself. No one can tell you about you but you. People can try to tell you about yourself, but you know who you are. And when you look in that mirror, you know exactly who you are.
And I think as a woman, that's when I realized there is nothing that I can do. They say, well, if you do this for him, he'll be dedicated to you. If you do that, if you become this person in the bedroom, if you become his personal porn star, and whatever. No, a man is only going, and this is so true. If he wants to remain loyal and faithful to the relationship and to you, he will. But if it's just not something that's in him, it's coming out of him. And unfortunately, until you wake up and realize that I'm not getting ready to turn any more tricks, I'm not getting ready to perform no more acts, I'm not doing none of that. You know what I'm saying? Until you wake up as a woman and realize that his bad behavior is not a reflection of who you are and what you possess and your strength and all that, until you realize that, you'll be forever blaming yourself and making yourself sick. You crying because you feel like you less than, and you comparing yourself to every every female that's walking. Where's my butt too small? Is my titties too small? You know, none of that stuff matters, because if a man is serious about his home, if he wants to be the king of his domain, he's gonna make sure that his presence is there. He's gonna make sure that his his money is there to support. He's gonna be the head of the household. So, ladies, let's put that myth to bed. You're never gonna be able to. You're only enough if he wants you to be enough, okay? And then when you realize that you're not enough, do what you need to do for you, for real.
Well, see, and here's the thing, and I'm gonna piggyback off that because she's right. Being as single as long as I've been single has taught me a lot about me. And to be
shout out to Krista.
Yeah, she's showing some love tonight.
Yeah.
To be single, like I've tried relationships, they fail for whatever reason, whether it's me or the woman, I don't know. But I felt like now, let me just take a breath. My last relationship I recently tried, didn't work out. She's a good person, but we didn't fit. We didn't fit, and I knew it. And there's no point of trying to force something. Like it's like forcing a key into a lock that don't turn.
It's crazy now because I can sit back and I can give him relationship advice. I can tell him, okay, listen, and that's just the type of relationship that we have, because I ultimately want to see this guy happy. I ultimately want to be happy. So he gives me feedback and stuff as well. Yeah.
Yeah, so it's different. Like we talk about everything. Like this is my best friend. I ain't gonna even lie. Like I share with her and she shared with me, and we piggyback and we throw each other ideas of what she may think. I might ask her a question about something and she give me her honest opinion, and I'll give her my honest opinion. But I would say this.
Yes, ma'am, Miss Lauren.
To be that way now, I just wish the man that I am now I was 20 years ago. I wish I had my head on right, but a lot of that is growth. A lot of that you have to go through something. You know what I'm saying? There's no testimony without a test. So I had to go through a lot of these different trials in my life to be able to get there. So the next woman that
absolutely, Miss Crystal.
The next woman that comes into my life, she's gonna get the Chris that she deserves. She's not gonna get the wondering eyes. She ain't gonna get the cheater.
He pitching y'all his sale. Look, hit him up.
No.
Now at 913.
No. And no.
He promoting himself. Y'all go hit him up.
No and no again.
Actually, what we can do is we can do a speed date. If you have any parenting questions, and if you want to do a speed date with Chris, here he is.
What is wrong with you tonight? You are really on one tonight. Let's finish. Like stay on topic. Like you are definitely bringing comedy relief tonight. She is really doing it.
I'm sorry.
So, as I stated, you have to grow. Like she's reading my aunt texting, and my aunt is texting some crazy stuff. So just as I said, you have to grow. As a man, you have to grow. And nothing makes you grow faster than the mistakes you make and the things you're doing wrong that makes you have to step up and change. And so after having my son, I just realized, man, I am really screwed up. Like I had to go see a counselor. I had to figure out what the problem was. And to this day, I still don't know what the problem is. What the problem was. I do know that I guess the stories of my father, because I didn't have my father, but I heard a lot of stories about him. He was a woman, he was a ladies' man. My father was a ladies' man. He was. So much so, my father has 4 children, and the boys are 3 months apart and the girls are 3 months apart. So, I mean, I'm just saying, my dad did his thing. And so I guess I found myself trying to live my life according to what I learned about him, because I wanted to be, I guess the way to say it is I wanted to be just like him. And so it wasn't, and like I said, my aunt and my mother aunt really, they played a major part in my life, because one of my aunts adopted me when I was younger. She's on here. Her name's Laura. Shout out to Mama Laura. And my Aunt Christy, she's on here. And they played a major part in my upbringing.
Let me just talk about Aunt Christy, because she deserves her special accolades, because Aunt Christy got me through some storms, baby. What she told me is you go and you find the biggest frying pan in the kitchen. No, the biggest pot. And you fill it with some water and you let his ass have it. Yeah, Aunt Christy kept it real.
She told you to pour hot water on me?
She kept it real with me.
Told you to pour hot water on me?
At all times.
Ain't Christy, you told her to pour hot water on me?
She sure did. She sure did.
Now,
and
why?
you know what else she told me?
What?
Get him back.
Well, of course I knew she would have told you that because that's Aunt Christy. Aunt Christy don't play them games. She like, hey, if you do it to me, I'm gonna do it to you. that's Aunt Christy. She ain't gonna go nowhere. Payback is payback, baby. Hey,
yes.
She said fair exchange ain't no robbery.
Get him back.
But we getting off. But I'm just saying, most men struggle with being monogamous because of how I don't know. I guess I'm not gonna speak for most men because there's some good dudes out here. But I'm gonna say for me, I struggle with monogamy because I wanted to be like my father. I guess that's the best way to put it. I wanted to be like the man I heard about. Even though I didn't know him, I just found myself trying to live my life the way he lived his. And now that I'm older and wiser, I know that that's not the way you live your life. That's not how you treat a woman. That's not how you treat a queen. So it takes growth. It takes a lot of maturity to get to this point. Now we're trying to help others so they don't make the same mistakes we made.
Exactly.
No, I don't struggle with that at all. She can tell you. She ain't gonna lie for me. I don't struggle.
Well, what exactly?
Cheating and all that, just unnecessary stuff.
Oh, hit him up. 1-800.
Girl, stop. No.
Oh,
but,
sorry.
So it just takes a lot of growth, and you have to truly grow and learn who you are. And then you gotta also learn whose you are. So the fact that we're sitting right here now talking about this, I have cousins, I'm not gonna say their names. I got female cousins that's going through the same thing I put Chanel through. I got, guys I deal with, friends that are going through the same thing I put her through. So people are still dealing with this and they don't know how to co-parent correctly. And they look at us as a model of this is not normal.
Yeah, it's weird. Like, it's only weird if you entertain a thought long enough, pretty soon that thought will consume you and you will actually believe that thought, right? So when you actually put forth like, hey, this is crazy. Let me put forth positive energies towards these positive thoughts. This can be somebody that I once despised. I even once hated. And we'll get into when he had me arrested and all of that. Y'all, we're going to get into it all. But and that was one of the hardest things that I've ever had.
Talking about.
I won't. I'm just telling the people.
Okay.
Like, when you really have despised someone, like, what trying to tell me what to do?
I'm just saying, why you putting out you don't want to.
Like I was saying, so when you really despise someone and society say, hey, y'all done broke up, it's supposed to be over, like there's supposed to be nothing else between y'all. When you really feed that thought, then that's what it comes. So it takes you to rise above the standards and the stereotypes and like, no, we can change the narrative. And so that's what Chris and I have done. And that's what we promote. That's what we literally believe in, like changing the narrative. If you guys become adults and realize, hey, and I spoke upon this on the last episode, and I'm going to continue to say it. If you continue to put the child first, the child's needs, what is in the best interest of the child, you guys can prevail. You can push through. The arguments won't even be the same because when you realize that one is getting a little, your energies is shifting, let's have this conversation a little later. You know what I'm saying? Like, I know, like
we got into an argument today.
It was funny. We did one of those, but co-parenting is not easy when the household is split and you have your schedule and you're trying to accommodate. But one thing I really want you guys to know is that it can be done, and we have done it, and we are here to offer our support. We are here to answer any questions. We are here to guide you. Again, we are not licensed therapists. I didn't attend nobody's university, okay? But life has prepared me for this moment, and I feel like this platform is excellent for what it is, the message that we're trying to convey. In addition to that, we want to thank you guys for your support with Seed Sensational Smoothies. Come get you guys a great smoothie. Stay fit while you co-parenting. What better way to co-parent with a smoothie, okay? But yeah, we're here for it. We're here for it.
Well, more than that, y'all, it just takes a lot of work. You are gonna find out how we got to this point. It's a little ways away, but you're gonna find out how we got to this point. And it was really an epiphany through me that got us to this point.
Yes, God touched his heart. Like, God had to come through. God had to do some intervening because
he did.
I was dealing with the devil.
Wow.
Like for real. Like
devil.
yes, you was evil.
I was the devil?
Yes, you was the devil because you would get so mad. You would get so mad and you would just act. And it was no calming you down. It was no trying to get you to be rational, level-headed, or anything. So God himself had to come down and sit down and be like, bro, like really? This what we gonna keep doing? You gonna keep arguing with this girl?
Well, and then
he's a deliverer.
He definitely did.
He's a healer.
I'm not going to. Thank you. Ma. I ain't nobody's devil. Thank you. I ain't nobody's devil. But I digress. She's right. Some stuff had to happen, and it did happen to me. And
Pamela, thank you.
You guys are going to find out how it happened, and what made it happen, and how it transpired. But it definitely changed the trajectory of our relationship. It made it so much better. Like once we got on one accord, we were on one accord. We always been on one accord. Like I said, we have our little arguments, but they don't even really become like bad. They just like little disagreements, and then like somebody call somebody else, or we even go a day. After that argument, we won't talk, and then the next day it's like nothing ever happened. Hey, what's going on with you? What up, though? Something like that. I'm like, what? Like I started saying what up, though, a lot because
Hey, ugly.
Yeah, I'll be like, what's up with you, ugly? What you doing? And then here goes the conversation. Like, man, you waking up with bad breath this morning, so you find yourself just
being friends.
Because
the if I can be friends with you and if I can like you, then it makes this whole process easier. Now, true enough, you're going to have, the other person's going to have some characteristic traits and personality traits that you just be like, Lord Jesus, your work is not finished. You know what I'm saying? Please come again, Lord, come again. But, at the end of the day, again, the goal is to get this kid raised, get values and morals instilled in him, and because you're preparing a little person for the world. And when he's seeing the two most important people that he loves fighting and arguing and bickering, like what it does to the child is unmeasurable. Like it's difficult. So if he can see, and this is what made me even want to work with you, because I'm not gonna lie, I had some resentment towards him. I really did. But when I seen how healthy it was for our child, I got on board as well. I'm like, okay, let's do it. Let's lock in. Let's lock this thing in. What we're going to talk about on the next episode, though, is the manipulation from the kid, because that's real, too. These little jokers, they are smart, you know what I'm saying? So they know how to go to mom, and they know how to go between the two of us to get their way. So we're going to talk about manipulation. We're going to talk about trying to run and control the other person's household, we're going to talk about it all. We're going to be 100% transparent. We're going to lay it out there. Again, if you guys have questions, want to be on the show, one of our watchers say that they, according to their schedule, if they can come in, we would love to have you, because it's for the betterment of the community. We are raising and we are setting the standards for the little people. They're going to eventually get older and grow up, and then we want to put that structure into them as well. So
to me, it's just too much negativity going on in the community when it comes to it might not work out. It may not work out. It probably, I would hope if you got somebody, y'all got married, you marry him for life, but sometimes things don't work out. And so just because it doesn't work out doesn't mean you got to hate each other. And that's what has typically happened in most relationships. I would almost want to say at least 85% of bad breakups with a child involved, the people still have a lot of hate towards each other for some odd reason. It's just, we have this stigma.
Because these men out here lying and won't be honest?
Well, it may be, but we have a stigma of like, once I leave you, I gotta hate you.
Right.
And that's just not what it is.
Right.
We gotta get past
Or your family you can't go to no more of the family
Can't do
functions. Mama can't call your daughter no more. You can't call mama. It's just weird.
It's just weird.
Like, okay, let's get into it. How can you have a whole child by another person, right? And you've been at family functions, you've been at the birthday parties, you've been at the cookouts, you've been at the baby showers, you've been chilling, watching the game, and then just because you break up, meaning y'all decided that, hey, you know what? This relationship is not healthy for us. This love entanglement is not healthy for us. That means I am like, I can't go see mama no more. Like, mama ain't mama no more. Like, little Pookie ain't Pookie no more. Like, come on. We have to stop that. It is so ridiculous. Now, that's weird. Once you become awakening and enlightening to the situation, you will you'll be on the inside looking on the outside like, nah, the way y'all moving is weird. I still love this person. she's still mama. You know, just because we're not together no more, I can't like. I liked her apple pie.
You stupid. So yeah, I mean, she right though. You do have it. Like when you build relationships with other people that's inside of the marriage, it's very hard to break away from them, especially if y'all really build a strong bond.
Yes.
And just
divorced
because
spouse is not family.
You know, the husband or the wife decides to walk away, doesn't mean that you got the right to tell them or your family members, hey, you can't talk to her. I'm not with her no more. They didn't break up with her. You broke up with her. They didn't leave her. You did. So
which is why Aunt Christy is still and forever will always be Aunt Christy. Yes.
That's what's up. You
So
know.
wrap it up.
So with all that being said, guys, like I said, we really truly enjoy y'all tuning in. This has probably been the most we've seen since we started our first episode. A lot of people are starting to come on. We would love for y'all to go on before we get off. We got to tell y'all, go to our YouTube page. You know, it's called Co-Parenting, Doing It the Right Way. I'll tag us in there at some point when we send a video. Please go like, subscribe, and share. Please like, subscribe, and share. We're trying to build up our YouTube presence. We're trying to really make this podcast something bigger than it's ever been because it's a topic that no one really touches on. And we're hoping to be able to take it into our new establishment, which is the Big Fish coming soon, where we'll be able to have audience because it'll be enough place for our audience and you guys can come up there and you can listen to us talk live. We can have guests come and sit on a panel and talk about it because we really want to talk about this. And this is not the only thing that we're going to be discussing. We're going to try to take just life lessons and apply them into our everyday lives. So we're just hoping and praying that you guys get on this journey with us. Like I said, please go to our YouTube page, like, share, and subscribe. Please share it doesn't hurt nobody to push the like button. It doesn't hurt no one to subscribe. That's just a simple click of the button, click of the finger, and you're there. So we're just asking that you please come on, subscribe, like our stuff. We're going to continue to post. We want to try to get our followers many followers as we possibly can. So tell a friend that's probably going through something, tell a family member, whoever. Share with everyone. Share. Please get out there and share. My guy Chase, he just put everything on the screen for y'all. So please share. And the likes, and we just smash up the like button. We love you guys. We thank you for all the support you guys have been giving us with the new and stuff that we're bringing into the smoothie bar, the sea moss, the elderberry, the cold pressed juices, the Eve. Eve is dope. Eve is something that I think all women should drink. I've been studying it, looking over it. That's a dope drink. It's called a body functional. What is it called? Functional body beverage. And I'm gonna tell you right now, it holds true to everything it say it is. So definitely come and check us out. Come into the smoothie bars. Keep showing us support. We love you guys for what y'all doing. Wyandotte County definitely is showing out. And even other parts of the city, people are coming out and coming and try the smoothie. So we want to say thank you to everyone.
Yes, and ladies, dial 1-800-BIG SWOLE Chris if you want to participate in the speed dating. I got him here for y'all. He's a changed man. The man you see before, that's not who he was.
Something is really wrong with her, y'all.
Come by Smoothie.
Hey,
Keep us in business.
we
have businesses together. You know, the Lord is able. But, you know, coming by Smoothie in the process. We're here for it. Thank you guys for tuning in.
Peace out. Y'all be good. Be safe.
That was dope. That was dope.